And of course, Sarah Ferguson is in quite a few of these photographs as well, because these files have been heavily redacted for, for privacy reasons and taste reasons. They've been redacted, but she is photographed with a couple of appears to be young women with their faces blacked out and redacted. So we still don't know the full story behind Sarah yet. So there could be even worse for her.
Could be, and it's always, for me, it's always been about the money. Actually, I mean, obviously the sex side is sordid and disgusting, and we should point out, as we always do, that Andrew denies all of the allegations against him. He's never been arrested. He's never been charged. But it's always been about the money and living beyond their means. And for Andrew and Fergie, that was the real link to Epstein. It was money.
I wonder whether they feel any shame. I certainly, as Sarah Ferguson, as a woman, as a mother of 2 girls, how she feels about being involved in something that is so lurid and just so awful, and whether she feels any remorse now.
It's not even now. It's like, did they not understand at the time? He's come out now and we see these Epstein files and we say this is debauched and really wrong. Why didn't anyone notice at the time? That's what I find extraordinary. I'm going to put you on the spot, actually, Elsa, if you don't mind. You were press secretary to in charge of communications for the late Queen for many years. Was there any worry, suggestion, fear that this crisis, the Andrew crisis, could end up like this?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, hindsight is a wonderful thing. But when it first sort of emerged in 2010 with the photograph of Andrew and Epstein walking in Central Park, who would think 15 years later that we are where we are? And a prince of the realm is basically completely being cut off at the knees from his family and the life that he grew up knowing.
The 2 books this year, the Virginia Giuffre posthumous memoirs, and before that, the Andrew Loney book entitled, they are both very important books, clearly, and had a devastating effect on Andrew. And the emails which prove that he knew about Virginia Giuffre and prove that he was in contact with Epstein. That's what did for him in the end. And, his line in the Emily Maitlis interview was, well, I was just being a loyal friend and perhaps too loyal. But I mean, we can now see that for what it was.
It's just been, you pointed out there, it's just been an avalanche, hasn't it, on Andrew, for the books, the emails. It's just been a never-ending year of crisis for him.
And it won't end. And that's why William and Charles have acted.
Yeah. All right. Princess Beatrice, we touched on Beatrice and Eugenie earlier. They've both been put in difficult positions because our understanding is the King is very fond of Beatrice and Eugenie, and they've kept their HOH. And they're kind of, people talk about being insulated from the crisis. They are, generally being cared for. We believe that Beatrice won't go to see Andrew at Royal Lodge for Christmas, but also won't go to see the King. She doesn't want to look like she's taking sides. Is that the right thing for her to do in this situation? It's an impossible situation for her.
Probably this year, I would have thought. And obviously she's loyal, or has been loyal, they both are, to their father. That is the instinctive thing to do. But it must have been severely tested this year with revelation after revelation. So for Christmas, probably, get out of the country and you're not seen to be picking sides.
It's a totally difficult position. I think you're absolutely right. And of course, the King, again, kept them inside the tent by inviting them to the royal family private Christmas lunch last week. And we've seen the photographs of them coming into Buckingham Palace. So I think she's being incredibly diplomatic. She's got a new daughter this year, and they just want to do something maybe just on their own nuclear family.
Devastating year for them. Devastating year for the girls, I would have thought.
We haven't really heard from them. Would you expect them to come out at some stage and talk about their parents and everything they've been going through?
I can't see that happening in the foreseeable future. Obviously, Matt, if you want to put a bid into Buckingham Palace for them to do that, I'm sure they'd consider you. I think it's heads down. I think it's just heads down at the moment and crack on with normal working day and see where we are in sort of 6 months.
They're in an interesting position because they're sort of they do public engagements, but they also have their private work and their private lives. So they're sort of half in, half out. Actually, the thing that Harry wanted. But Beatrice and Eugenie aren't full-time working royals, so they don't have quite the public exposure that the others do.
I'm trying to remember. I think is it, both of them have been given think one of them's been given a patronage connected to the King and Queen, and everyone's been brought in to work for the King's Trust or the King's Foundation. I can't remember the specifics. I wish I could. But the King has kind of opened arms to them. There could be a future maybe for Beatrice and Eugenie.
If they want it.
If they want it.
And in a slimmed down monarchy, William and Catherine are going to need help as well. I mean, it's sort of slimmed down all by itself, hasn't it? But they're going to need help in the public jobs they do.
All right. Now, it's got even worse for Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. We pointed out there that this whole Sandringham escapade, where we see the pictures, it was a case of he alleged that in his Newsnight interview that it was just a straightforward shooting weekend. But we've reported this week, front page of The Sun, that Met Police have visited Prince Andrew at Royal Lodge, and he's voluntarily revoked his firearms certificate, which means that he can't go shooting. He still has guns, but he's not allowed access to them. Guys, what do you think this means?
Well, it's another problem for him, and I guess it doesn't look good. But I think it's probably to do with moving. He's moving at some point. Possibly, we're assuming it's Sandringham in Norfolk. It might not be. He might be off to the Middle East. Who knows? But I guess with the change in address, it's another complication and another thing he's got to deal with. And
another front page story, which again is taking the spotlight off, all the other work that the royal family are doing. And I would think, it's another humiliation. Whatever reason that the police gave for the licence being evoked, it's just something he just doesn't want to have to read on the front page of a newspaper.
Yeah, the front page, the visibility is such an important point, because remember when we covered the visit to the Vatican in October or November, still he was on the front page then, when obviously the palace wanted us covering the meeting with the Pope. So it's just sucking the oxygen away from what they want.
It also makes me wonder, what is he doing? We only ever see him horse riding. I know there was a big long article, I think, in the Telegraph. I keep picking up the Telegraph this week. My colleague Hannah wrote a really nice piece about what is he actually doing. I think she described him as like a couch potato. He's just sitting at Royal Lodge watching telly. I think that he used to watch like the flights coming, and he used to watch Flight Radar and stuff like that. But what does he get to do if he can't go? Because shooting's a very important part of royal family life. At Sandringham there'll be shoots, won't there, coming up in January in Balmoral.
Absolutely.
So what does he do? What can he do with his life?
I don't know. Honestly, box sets.
There is obviously an element of I don't expect people to feel sympathetic for him, but I mean there is a tragic element to this. In happier days, he was known as the Duke of Golf. I'm not sure how many golf clubs he's a member of anymore, but it's a lot of time to fill.
Yeah.
And there are golf clubs which are taking his name off their club at the moment. People just want to be disassociated with him.